The hell with the miss would be the end of his story. Victory over hardship, he's built for it. He killed for another chance to rewrite his story. He grabbed a pen, he wrote the script for it. He had a gift for it, something like a sixth sense. He backed his bags, man, he ain't seen the bed since. That sentence did exactly what it was supposed to do. He swallowed pride, did what people that are sober do. He told the truth, trusted God and cleaned his mess up. They told him he kept going, be like he never even messed up. Within a couple years, the boy was blessed up. He used his story to help others who had messed up. Matter of fact, rumor has it that he still at it. He makes music, they say it helps heal land. It's real bad once he's helping them through real battles. Real battles, know nothing about. And that's the story of the boy, and of course there's more to it. Maybe next time we'll get more into it. There's a moral to it, something for you to think on. Yo, you should think on it.
Welcome everybody to the Brothers Covered Loud and Proud. How are you doing today? Welcome everybody. Welcome to the show. My friends. How are you doing? Welcome, Tim. What you doing, buddy? How's Katie doing? Hope you all are doing super fantastic today. I sure am. Glad to be here. Welcome. Welcome. I didn't think my mic was working there for a minute. Now I see it is. I know, technical difficulties. They happen a lot sometimes. It's always because of this hardware. You can't count on it to work day to day sometimes with computers, but that's all right. Today we don't mind. So, the agenda. Let's start off with qualify myself for this podcast. When I was 10 years old, I started smoking weed, drinking alcohol. Moved right along to LSD, mushrooms, methamphetamines, heroin. I was a 5-gram day intravenous heroin addict, recovered heroin addict. I don't tell you that because I am proud. I tell you that because I am living proof that any addict can get clean and sober. Woot woot. What do you say, Rex? What's up, my friend? How are you doing? Hope the baby and stuff is doing good. Where am I at here? I'm lost on my computer. Excuse me. It's all right. It's all right to be little bitty, big old town or a little old city. Make sure everything's working here properly. It is. So, I want to tell you about September the 11th, Iron Horse Festival Day. We will be covering it here on the podcast. And also, we will be having a yard sale that day. Proceeds going back to recovery. And glad to do it. There's places out there that need shampoo and soap, deodorant, shoes, underwear, all kinds of stuff you can imagine. You come out of jail and go into a recovery center, you don't have nothing except the clothes on your back. And some people don't have families to help them. They have burnt them bridges. So we are here to help them and do all we can do to help their recovery and help them get through that and maybe into a sober life. You know, you got to have somebody to spread some hope to you. And if there is no hope, why would you get clean and sober? What do you say, Vanessa? Welcome to my podcast. I appreciate your support. Thank you very much. Also, October the 2nd, Pathway to Hope in Bardstown. The Bardstown Farmers Market starts at 3. Come on out. We are, I'm pretty sure it's called Rise Up is the entertainment. There will also be vendors, a bunch of speakers in recovery, including myself. Looking forward to it. It's a great venue. If you're in recovery, you want to know something about recovery, come on out. There'll be free pizza and free waters. That is October the 2nd at 3 o'clock at the Farmers Market in Bardstown, Kentucky 40004. Also, coming up, October the 15th through the 17th, we're having the first annual Sobertober. Sobertober. It's going to be down here. You come through New Haven on 31E from Bardstown. You go across the second bridge out of New Haven. Take your first left into the field there. We'll be camping out. We will have some live music on Saturday night. We'll have speakers and door prizes and all kinds of good stuff. BYOB, bring your own boat. Once again, it's BYOB, bring your own boat. We will kayak and canoe and whatever down the mighty Rolling Fork. I'm glad to be here today, people. Y'all just don't even know how much I enjoy being here on this podcast right now. It don't matter how many times that people tell me in recovery that the guy that's still out there in the madness is just as sick as I am. And it's hard to remember sometimes when you come home every day and the cops are sitting in front of your house. Once again today, matter of fact, got one parked in my driveway. I don't know. I wished I could say I get it. In a way, I do get it. In a lot of ways, I don't. Some people out there, they can't handle it. I don't think any of us can handle it, but some of us get way out there. And it's sad. It's one of the worst things you can watch if you're in recovery is to watch somebody you know and somebody you love and somebody you care about go down a path that you know is so awful. And watch them have to go to jail time and time and time and time again, or go to the hospital time and time and time again. And I don't know. It's definitely bittersweet for me because I can see every day where I don't want to be no more and where it takes you. But then it's there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do to make somebody get it. If they're not willing to take that next step, to do what it takes to get sober and clean, there's nothing you can do. And it's sad. I don't know. I wished I had the answer. I wish I could snap my fingers and help everybody. But I can't do that. So I'm just going to keep giving my message out here all the time, every week at 6 o'clock on Wednesdays. Share what I do know. Experience, strength, and hope. Like I said, I used to be this guy right here on the left, and I didn't get it either. I didn't get it either until I got it. You know, the odds are against us. It's stacked against us. But you know what? We got to keep going. We got to keep moving forward. Keep doing the same things that keeps us sober every day. I had a good friend of mine tell me one time, you know, you can't stay full on yesterday's breakfast. You got to eat breakfast every day. Can't stay full on yesterday's breakfast, so you got to eat again today. So every day in recovery is exactly the same thing. Working on your recovery. Can't rest on your laurels because, you know, it's look at me, look what I did, because that ain't the way it works. What you do is you get out here and you do the work. You put that first foot forward, then the next foot forward, and let your higher power take over. Because, see, he's like everybody else. If you're not going to make initiative, he ain't either. You know, you got to make the first step. And that first step is a beast. You know, there's a lot of stigma out there. There's a lot of withdrawal you got to go through. Swallow that pride. Man, swallow that pride. Look at me. I'm a junkie. I'm a screw up. I've ruined everything in my life. But now I'm going to do better. After you've said that 10,000 times, we get out there and then we do it. And we keep doing what we do and stay sober, clean and sober. And you don't have to worry about no stigma and stuff like that. You think I worry about what people say about me today? I don't care what people say about me. It's none of my business. Matter of fact, I tell every client in my heat and air company, when I walk in their door, I tell them my story. Not the whole story, but I tell them I'm a recovering drug addict. I got so many 24 hours clean and sober, and this is where life's brought me. And you know what? The honesty, man, people respect the honesty, they respect that you're doing something that most people can't do. And it does feel good. I ain't saying that I got this big ego thing that goes on in my head or anything like that, because I don't. Because I know it wasn't me that did it. Because I tried for 37 years. Well, I don't know how many years. 37 years. I'm 47. I started when I was 10. For 37 years, I was out there in the madness, and I didn't know how to change. I didn't know how to live. I couldn't take care of myself for anything in the world. You know, when I never wanted kids growing up, or when I got married and all that stuff, and the reason why is because I couldn't take care of myself. I knew that. I can't even take care of myself. I knew that. I couldn't hold a job. I don't know how many positions I've worked in my lifetime. Most of it's all heat and air because, well, that's just where God put me in life. And I'm truly grateful for that because it has paid for everything that I've needed to pay for so far to this point. Not because I did it. I signed up for carpentry. Ended up in AC. I don't know. It works out. I was asking one of my workers today. I was like, you know, when they tell us to give it to God, at what point are we just falling irresponsible to our problem? Say like you owe the rent. If it don't come up, you don't come up with the money, you give it to God. Let's say, okay, God, I can't do this. You got to help me out here. Help me out here. And you're not supposed to take it back and start worrying about it again because God's going to help you. And I find that has run true in sobriety for me. I ain't saying it works for everybody, but it has worked almost every time for me. When I give it to God, He takes it. And He always comes through. And I don't know, at what point do we say, okay, well, I just throwed it on the back burner and said, to hell with it, I give it to God. Okay, it's up to you now. And it works. What's the difference? I don't know the answer to that. Sometimes when I give it to God and I think, all right, I give it to God and I just don't worry about it no more. Don't even think about nothing. It just comes up. But in the madness, I give it to God. It didn't go nowhere. It just I just fell behind. And I don't know if it's the recovery or the living the new life or being that you know, that real close with my higher power that helps me out. It just works out. And, you know, I can remember in high school, we'd stop up a little bar up the road here, and we'd get a case of beer every day, and I'd have a flat tire every day because I'd run off the road. I know, right? You think, I drive great when I'm drunk. Yeah, I had a flat tire every day my senior year in high school. Junior year in high school, maybe. Might have been junior. But, just seemed like I was an accident waiting to happen. Old man used to tell me it all the time. He used to make me so mad. And that's one of the things I would always say, well, I'm just an accident waiting to happen. You know, not proud of that, but really it was all brought on by myself. I can't blame anybody for any of that stuff except for me. You know, but it just seems things work out in recovery. And I don't know if it's the positive effort that we put forward and we don't live so negative, because negativity breeds negativity. If you're, you know, one bad apple runs all the apples. You know what I'm saying? And you got to. I read a book. It was called "Think Positive, Get Rich." And basically, the Rockefellers and all that, they were just positive. They just knew they was going to make it. You know, they were just positive all the time. And that's most rich people believe that they was going to be rich. Now, I thought I was going to be rich my whole life, and I ain't quite got there yet. But I don't know how positive I was after the madness for 37 years. And it was bad times. It was bad times. I'm just glad that I ain't there now. Ooh-wee, man, I wouldn't go back to that for nothing in this world. I don't want to. I can't even begin to push the thought of how bad it is to wake up dope sick and not have a dime in your pocket and to make it through the day. Where am I going to get my fix? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? And everybody complaining and yelling at you and telling you how bad a person you are and all that stuff. And then the guilt and shame and remorse that goes along with it because you feel guilty because you out there and you see people. I used to get mad at my cat because I'm laying here dope sick. That cat, I just sit there and thought, well, that cat will never get dope sick because he'll never do no dope. So I was mad at that cat because I got dope sick. Imagine that. Like it was the cat's fault that it was a cat, not a human. But you know what? That cat, I never was a big cat lover. It was my ex-wife's cat. And every time I was dope sick and I was laying on the couch, sick of the dog twitching and jerking and doing the crappie flop and hot flashes, cold flashes, and just all that craziness. Going to the bathroom, that cat would crawl up on my stomach, lay on my chest, and just sit there and purr and knead at me. And it's like it knew I felt bad. And it was a blessing because at that point I could look at that cat and say, I'm glad you don't have to feel the way I feel today. And I think back about how miserable it was. One time I woke up and I had the portable air conditioner and I was like hot, cold, and I was just burning up. And I'd stick the cover over top of that portable air conditioner, stick my head right up against it and blow that cold air right on my head. But every so often it would kick out and it would blow, just mediocre air. And I'd get so mad. And I sit there just waiting for the phone to ring. Somebody needed to call and need some work done because I had to get something in me. See, I wasn't that guy that run around and stole and all that stuff. I pretty much worked for everything I did. And I ain't saying I didn't steal, but that was a different time and a different place than this time here. But anyways, I've always tried not to do that. I always tried to have a reputation of being a good guy. I didn't want to be, my integrity wanted to be great. But the problem was I was a drug addict. And finally the phone rings and this lady says, my air's not working. I'm like, I'll be right there. And she gave me the address. I run over real quick. And it wasn't something I could fix right away. I'm sick, people. I'm like, I'm dope sick, big time. I don't even know how the lady had to look at me and think, what is up with this guy? But I told her, I was like, look, I can fix this today, but I got to have half the money up front. And she gave me half the money up front. I went straight to the dope man's house, got my fix, and then later on I went and fixed it and got paid the rest, and it was good for the next half a day because every penny I made went to the dope man. It didn't matter if I made $2 or $5,000. He was getting every penny of it. Besides the gas money to get there and get home, he got every bit of it. And it was awful. Another time, me and a buddy of mine, we had to put a system in, furnace, and I think it might not have been the air conditioner. We had to do the furnace and coal or something. And supposed to have been there at 8 o'clock in the morning. We made it about 9:30, and we could not get out of the car to go inside to start the job because we was dope sick. And I called the dope man, and he just would not answer. And finally, about 1:30, he finally answers the phone, and we beelined it over there. And I think we got done about 9 o'clock that night, but we didn't start till about 3. But we was there in the car in front of the place at 9:30 that morning. We could not get out of the car. I don't miss that, people. And if you've ever been in that situation, you understand what I'm talking about. It's awful. I understand. My mom and them used to look at me, and my sister and them used to say, why don't you just quit? Well, I couldn't quit. Because see, the thing about it is you get so sick. If you know somebody that's been out there on that stuff and watched them go through the dope sickness, you know they're sick. They're hurt. I mean, hot flashes, cold flashes. I like to call it restless body syndrome. You're twitching and stuff. Puking, diarrhea. It's awful. And you can't sleep, and you're wore out, you're tired, and And it progressively gets worse for about 4 days before you ever start to feel some kind of, I don't even know when you feel the relief. It took me forever, but I finally got to it. But anyways, think about that. You feel that bad, and all it takes is one pill, one bump, one shot, whatever, however you put it in you. It don't matter how you put it in you. It's just how you got to get it. As long as you get it in you. That was my way of thinking. And I can only speak for myself, but that's why it's so hard to quit. You know, because you feel that bad for so long, and all you got to do is take one pill, one bump, one shot, however you get it in you. It's all it takes, and you're normal again. Normal. That's why it's so hard to quit. So if y'all ever question why it's so hard for people to get out here to get clean off that hard stuff, that's why. That is why. Man, I don't miss that for nothing in this world. Woo! I remember when I first got in trouble, and I went rocket docket, so I had to go to up there to, it's 7 counties now, but it was I forget her again. It works so great. It works overtime. JDAC. I laid up there sick in that bed and puked and all that stuff, and made it, I guess, 15 hours to the door, and I left. I called my dope man up, and he fronted me a half gram. I drove from Louisville to New Haven, picked up some money, went back to Louisville, and got more. I had some dope in my pocket within 30 minutes of walking out the door at JDAC. It's a wonder it didn't kill me, really. Because you can't just quit and stop and then come back a week later and start again. It just, that stuff don't work that way. It's what kills a lot of people. And, but yeah, and I ended up having to go back. I remember I went up there to the courthouse. I seen that lawyer, and he was telling me how I had too much heroin on me, and they couldn't do rocket docket no more. And even though I was doing my 6 months of IOP, and I left 15 hours to the door, but I wasn't gonna say nothing about that, because see, you know, I was doing what Chuck wanted to do. And then he looks at me and said, "And you didn't even finish the clean out, the dry out, or whatever." I was like, "Well, I went up 15 hours to the door. I don't care. You didn't stay the full 7 days like you was court ordered to." He was pretty mad. Excuse me. And damn if they didn't send me back. Thank God. Thank God. Because see, by that time I got to court, that time I was sick. Because I didn't have nothing to live for. My son was gone. I was looking, I don't know how much time, you know, I had 12 grams of heroin, a Xanax bar, and a half gram of meth in my pocket when they pulled us over. And, not in my pocket, but right there. And, I was sick. I mean, I went balls to the wall. And, man, I ain't never been so sick in my life. Don't ever want to be that sick again. Matter of fact, I'm not scared of COVID-19 because there's no way it could be worse than that. No way. Impossible. They actually took me to the hospital and pumped 2,000 milliliters of fluids in me to keep me alive, because I withdrawed so bad. But, not so funny story. I guess it's funny to me. Not really funny, but I do a lot of recovery stuff like the podcast here, and I go to these bonfires and stuff, and I run the guy up there at a bonfire up there in Louisville, and I kept looking at him. I was like, I know this guy. I said, "Hey, man, did you work at JDAC?" And he's like, yeah. "Who are you?" And I said, "You remember that guy that was real sick?" He laughed. He said, "Where's a lot of them?" I said, "You know, yeah, but there was 2 of them that drug him down the hall and his feet drug behind him, and y'all took him to the hospital." He said, "Yeah, I remember that guy. I'll never forget him." I said, "That was me." He said, "Man, I thought you was going to die." We all did. I did too. I thought my time was done then. But, yeah, it was great to see him at a recovery event, clean and sober, 365 days. Actually, it was 700 and whatever, or 800 and whatever. Anyways, days, and nights and weekends included, clean and sober, and tell him that, you know, how involved I am in recovery and how much recovery means to me. And it was all right because they thought I was going to die. I thought I was going to die too. Woot woot. What do you say, Tammy, Johnny, Sean, Udi, Scott, Donnie, Don, Huntsburger, what's up, my bub? What's going on, fam? I tell you, people, I've met some bunch of people doing this right here. Recovery has been a blessing to me. And anybody that gets it and does what they're supposed to do and take the suggestions and just, if you do this right here, half as much as you go out there trying to get high, I promise you'll have a life like you never expected. You'll have more friends than you ever thought you'll ever have. So if you're people like me that thinks that nobody likes you, nobody loves you, well, let me tell you, that's a lie. Because I love you. And if nobody told you today, I love you. I might not like you, but I don't have to like everybody. I just got to love you because you're human beings. And I know what you're going through if you're out there suffering through this. You're out here thinking that there's no way out and you'll never get through it. And you can say every excuse in the world because I used them. I used every excuse in the world. And I thought I was going to die doing this dope. 100%. I used to think the only hope that I had was the Vietnam vets that come back that was strung out. Surely to God they didn't all die. You know, it's the only thought in my head I could think of was surely they didn't all die on this stuff. That was the only hope that I had. Because I couldn't go out and talk to nobody. I wasn't, you know, back when I was doing this stuff, you know, it wasn't something you bragged about. It wasn't something, you know, it wasn't everybody doing it. There was a lot of people doing it, but not everybody. And I didn't have nobody to talk to. You know, I couldn't go talk to my dope man and say, hey, man, you know what? Is everybody down with this stuff? I don't know. I can remember, you know, everybody says, I can't believe it. They want to go out there and get this dope. It just killed somebody. But, you know, I can remember my dope man said, this done killed 3 people today. You be careful with this stuff now. I didn't care. I just wanted it in me. I was sick. I wanted to be normal. Because, see, that's what I got. I didn't get high no more, people. I got normal. I just wanted to be normal. I wanted to be who I am right now, but I couldn't ever get to right here because I was messed up. But I didn't want to be sick no more. I didn't want to be sick. I didn't want to be sick. Being sick is the scariest. Just thinking about having to come off that stuff and withdrawal was scary. That's how bad it is. So if you don't understand it, I'm telling you right now, it's bad. And if you know somebody's on it and it's a loved one and they're going through it, have a little compassion, but I ain't saying give them no money or take them to the dope man or nothing. I'm just saying have a little compassion and tell them you love them. And you'll help them any way you can, but you can't give them no money, you can't give them no dope. I mean, don't do nothing crazy like that because it's, you know, I've known people that would go get their kids dope because they couldn't stand to watch them be sick no more. I'm guilty myself, not for family members, but I dated a girl, and I got clean, she didn't. And I laid and sat there and watched her go through it, and I couldn't take it no more. I went and bought her dope. It's a true story. True story. It's awful, man. It's awful. You don't want to see anybody get that sick. I don't know. I can't even explain. Well, I don't have to, because if you're watching my show or my podcast here, you know somebody's been there, and you know how awful it looks if you ain't been there yourself. At one point, I used to say, if you don't know somebody that's strung out on dope, then you're the person that's strung out, because everybody knows somebody that's strung out on dope. It's a pandemic. It is the pandemic. You know, if I died of COVID-19, I lived a good life. I died clean and sober. I died of a pandemic, of a disease that's I couldn't control. I couldn't help. But if I overdose and die, something I can control, I can help. I can, you know, I can reach out and get help. I do believe that in the disease concept, I do feel like I've got a disease, but I don't. I'm going to stop right there because I don't want to. I don't want to argue the fact on the disease concept, because my way of thinking is the mental disease of it. Because see, that's my problem up here. The dope and the beer and all that stuff is just the how I self-medicate to take care of the problem I got up here. That's really going on up here. See, if I'm a junkie and I'm strung out, there's a reason I'm like that. There's a reason why I don't want to be around myself. I don't want to be around people. I want to numb everything. It's because something up here, and that's where the root of our problem is. The crux of the problem is in our heads. And I run into people that's in recovery now, and they're like, I just like to party. And you know what? I just like to party too. I like to go out there and shake a leg, woo woo, and do some good stuff and have some fun and chase the women and all that stuff. But you know what? One day I looked up and said, you know, Chuck, why can't you do that sober? Why do you got to be high every time? Why do you got to be drunk every time? Why can't you just do it sober? And that's when I realized, hey, why can't I do that sober? Why can't I have fun without getting high? You might be an addict, Chuck. That's what I thought back. That's right, you might be. And I am. I'm 100% that. You know, I don't know what it is about me. My way of doing things is extreme. People call me a liar and everything all the time when I talk about my addiction, because I'm the type of person that I'm all in. Because, see, I want to go all the way to dying, except I don't want to die. But I want to be that, you know, teeter-totter on it. That's what I always wanted to be. And that's how my 5 gram a day habit got going, because I couldn't stop. I used to do a little, but a little couldn't do it, so a little got more and more, as Guns N' Roses says. And I don't know. And it wasn't that you know, every time I went out as in teenagers and on up and running bars and stuff, I just wanted to find somebody to love me. Really. Not that I didn't have people who love me. I was looking for love in all the wrong places. Oh, yeah. But anyways, you know, but by the time I got to that bar stool at the bar, and I got to drinking beer and the camaraderie with the guys, and, you know, and then next thing you know, I wasn't worried about no women. I was having a good time just drinking this beer. And that's how I know I'm alcoholic, because I give up for even reasons I even went out, you know, was to meet somebody and maybe have a family someday. And but you know what? I didn't start doing the hard stuff until after I was married and had my son already. So it's all lies. I lied to myself. But you know, it's I can say all kinds of stuff. I can make every excuse in the world. I can make every excuse in the world. But I'm just lying to you and me. That's the thing. When they tell me I got to be 100% honest. I got to be my brain. It's not wanting to work again today. Rigorous honesty. Rigorous honesty. I got to be rigorously honest. That ain't telling you a lie. That ain't telling a cop a lie. It's telling myself a lie and believing it. See, I got to become honest with myself and tell myself, hey, Chuck, you don't like to party. You're an addict. I didn't like hearing that. I didn't want to say that. I don't know how many times I said, hey, I'm alcoholic, because I drank through high school all the time and stuff. It was funny to say, yeah, I'm alcoholic, but really it wasn't funny. It's funny how your head changes after you clean sober and you look back and think, man, how irresponsible. Look what I put my family through. Look what I put my son through. Look what I put myself through. And when I make amends, I had to make an amends with myself. See, I had to forgive me. Because once you get sober and clean it and you start doing right, well, then you start feeling upset at yourself because you let yourself do that. Because it's your brain. I mean, you told your hand to bend or whatever. And then you realize the harm you caused and all that stuff through your family and all that stuff and your kids. I mean, all that stuff. All that builds up inside you, and it is a beast to overcome. But you got to forgive yourself for that. 100%. See, I'm come to terms with that stuff. I did what I did, and I can't change it. I wish I could go back and change something. No, I really don't, because I wouldn't be who I am today. All that molded me into the person I am today. And I don't know that I would like me if I was any different. I sure like me a whole lot more than I used to like me. I can tell you that, because I used to not like me at all. And that was one of the hardest things to say, is I don't even like myself. Why would anybody else like me if I don't like myself? A lot of people liked and loved me. I just, it was my brain telling me something different, and I didn't know how to focus on that. I didn't know how to change that. I didn't know how to make that go away. And when I sit down in bed at night and I tell myself, nobody loves you, why you even try, Chuck? Eventually I got to listen to my own brain. And as weird as that sounds, that's really how it is. It's crazy, I know, but that's all right. I can live with being crazy today, and I have no problem. Matter of fact, I think I'm sicker than most, and that's all right too. There are some sicker than me. I don't know who they are, but I'm sure there are, because I don't know. I try to have an integrity and stuff today and be honest to the best of my abilities and all that, but still inside my head, crazy things go on. I just don't talk to you all about them. I do talk some about it. I talk to whoever I need to talk to. Matter of fact, I'll pull up on the little old lady at the grocery store. If I need to talk, I'm going to talk, because I got to get it out today, and I know that. I don't care how crazy they think I am. You know, I think they call it, what do they call that? I was going to say algorithm. No, that ain't what they call it. A metaphor, maybe. Is it a metaphor? Maybe a metaphor. 3 frogs on the log. One decides to jump in. How many frogs are on the log? There's 3 frogs on the log still, because he thought about jumping in. He didn't jump. Nobody said he jumped. So there's still 3 frogs on the log. See, I can think all kinds of stuff inside my head. As long as I don't act upon the thought, I'm good. I can think about getting high every day and not relapse. But the moment that I act upon it, then you relapse. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? You see what I'm laying down here? Can you see what I'm laying down here? But anyways, don't act on it. You're good. Wish people didn't act on a lot of things they think. You know, I wish I didn't act on things I think sometimes, because I throw things way out of proportion sometimes. Because see, I'm still the same Chuck that was an addict. That Chuck's still inside me, because I am that person. But today I choose to question everything I think, because I can't trust myself with my own thoughts. I can't trust my actions with my own thoughts. Sometimes I got to call somebody and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking. What do I need to do here? Usually they tell me to pray on it. Usually makes me mad, because I know they're going to say pray on it. Why did I even call you if you're going to tell me that? Because I already know you're going to say that. Because I'm an addict like me, wants an NOW now. I want the answer now. Don't make me figure it out. You know the answer, just tell me. You know, get done with this and be done and go on to the next thing. See, instant gratification. I want to be happy today. Right out of rehab, I want to drive Mom's car, and I'll be all right, because, you know, I just went through 3 days of rehab. No, dude. You was fried for 37 years. It gives you the right to even think that you deserve anything, because you went 3 days in rehab. Come on, man. I can't help it. Every time I say, come on, man, I think Joe Biden. No offense, that's thinking, because he says, come on, man. Here's the deal. But anyways, I like it because I know you like it. I ain't gonna, never mind. I ain't gonna do my political whatevers. But I imitate them. Whatever, it's funny. I can't help it imitate them. You look silly. They look silly. But anyways, you know, it's you know, the thing about recovery is wild. Is bad things still happen in life. Life happens to everybody. It don't matter who you are. Life happens, and bad things happen, and such a recovery you don't have to use on it. And you get over it. You get through it. Get on top of it. Ride it like a bull. You know what I'm saying? And you might fall off. But you jump back up on there. You ride that stallion until you get home. That's what you do. You don't have to go get high and get drunk because everything in life is hitting you in the face. Matter of fact, I'll make a bet with you. I bet if it'll go to get your soul, because I'm better. No, I'm just kidding. Think about this. Think about this right here. If I don't go get high and I don't get drunk, the outcome's better. Still gonna go through it. The outcome's better and quicker, because you get over it quicker. You make an honest decision towards things, not some blurred, foggy garbage that you think when you're high, because you're not getting your full brain power. You don't get to really think about the consequences. You don't get to think about. You get to look forward. You get to look forward a little bit and say, hey, you know what? If I do that, this is going to happen. Because every time I've ever done that before, this has happened. Well, you think about this. Every time you've gotten high before and you made the decision, it didn't turn out too good. Because if it did, you wouldn't be watching this podcast. You did so good before in life, that you decided you just like to watch a recovery podcast because I just like to watch a recovery podcast because I ain't got a problem. Nah, because you run into this stuff. You run into this stuff. But it does, it gets better, my truck blowed up. It had nothing to do with me drinking and getting high. It just blowed up. It was time to die on my truck, so I could have got tore up about it. Could have got all upset, throw my arms up in the air, to hell with it, go to the bar, or go to the dope man. I could have done that, but I didn't. I just laughed about it. What am I going to do about it? You ain't got $10,000 or $6,000, whatever, $100 to buy a new one. Well, ain't no need getting crying more about it, because you know what that does? That slows down your progress, see? I tell that to guy, you know what? I ain't made it up there yet. 2 weeks later, after that happened, guy called me, told me he had a van for sale. Dirt cheap. Nice looking van. I ain't been up there to get it. I ain't had the money to go buy it yet, but it's there and it's waiting on me. Going to put me in a little bit better position than I was. Even though my truck was paid for, this one here will be paid for as soon as I get up there. But now I got a bigger vehicle that's not a truck. See, all my tools get to stay dry now. Really, that's what I needed to begin with, was a van. Funny how that works, right? See, what I really need come along, and it's there to be got. But if I would have been crying over spilled milk over that truck blowing up, God might not have found fit for me to have that. Might not have found fit to even get it offered to me. I don't know. We can say one. You can say one way or the other. Call it luck if you want to. I'd rather be lucky than good any day. Daggone right. Luck comes in too many different ways. Woo. But action. Everybody worried about how God, all this God stuff and all that. You know what? He's not throwing lightning bolts at you. I've not walked into church one time high, sober, or anything and got struck by lightning. You know what he cares about? He don't care that you stumped your toe. He cares about how you react to that stumped toe. See, if you stump your toe and you start cussing and you blame it on everybody else and you start fighting with people because you stumped your own toe, that's not going to look good. It don't look good. Think about it. It wouldn't look good. I mean, it'd be funny. It'd be funny if you see me do it. I know. I'd laugh too, because I didn't get hurt. I just stumped my toe. It hurts for a second, but happens to everybody. But it's how you react to things. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect, people, because the Lord knows I'm far from perfect. I fail miserably every day at a lot of things. I really do. I get upset. I get mad. And that's a luxury I don't have. I get mad. That's bad for me because I'm an addict. The dubious luxury of a non-alcoholic. Anger. See, I don't have that luxury. But I still get mad. How do I get over that? Well, I pray on it. You know how I'm getting better? Even though I still get mad, you know how I know I'm getting better? Because I don't get as mad as I used to get. Or it don't last as long as it used to. A little bit better. This ain't perfection, people. Nobody's perfect. Do a little bit better than you was yesterday. 1% better than you was yesterday. And if you can stay that rate, 1% every day for the rest of your life, better than you was the day before, you're going to have a pretty good life. You're going to be a whole lot better unless you die tomorrow. I don't know. That's a gamble. That's every day. Every one of us is closer to that. We don't know when that time is. But I tell you what, if I die today, I die clean and sober. My mom got to see me live my life clean and sober before I died. If she passes away today, she got to see me clean and sober before she goes. She can feel safe in life. My mom used to tell me all the time, she's like, I'm worried about you, Chuck. And I'd say, why are you worried about me? I don't know that you're going to make it. What? I don't know how I'm going to make it. Come on, right? I'm a grown-ass man. I'm going to make it. But I didn't put forth the effort to prove to anybody that I can make anything. I couldn't hold a job. I couldn't buy my own groceries. I couldn't pay my own bills. I couldn't buy my own cigarettes. Why would anybody think that I could make it? Even though I was saying, I'm a survivor, people. Oh, I'm a survivor. I am a survivor. Call me a quitter, but I'm a survivor today. And I was a survivor then. I probably made it. I don't know how long till I didn't make it. One of my favorite things, people say, well, I ain't doing it for that. Well, you ain't right now. But when you do it for that, well, that's when you done it for that, and that's it. Oh, I'm just going out on a date with her. We ain't getting married until you marry her, and then you're married to her, right? I'm not going to drink that Coke until you drink the Coke. I ain't going to get my hair cut. Until you get your hair cut, you're hanging out the barbershop. I don't hang around people that do dope, people. Number one rule, don't hang around people that do dope if you're an addict. Don't hang around beer joints if you're an alcoholic. You know why? Because you're going to fail. I ain't saying you're going to guaranteed, but 99.9% people just can't overcome that. I'm a needle junkie, people. Or was, recovered needle junkie. I'm a diabetic. I take shots. I told the doctor to take them syringes and keep them. I don't want them no more. I want a pen. I don't have to look at it. I don't want to even think about that syringe. I don't want to think about anything to do with that stuff. People, places, and things. I can't keep doing the same thing. Running around the same places as I did when I was out there getting high. I ain't had one friend yet come back and say, well, you sorry piece of crap. You don't even hang around me no more. If they're using, I'm not a hater. That's not my problem. None of my business what they're doing. I would like to think that they respect me enough that I'm trying to better myself, that they're not worried about me coming over and hanging out with them if it's a chance for me getting high. I mean, if you take care of your family, take care of your kids, pay all your bills, and everything's hunky-dory, well, I'm happy for you. I wish that was like that for me because I really enjoyed getting high too until I didn't. But I can't, so don't be mad at me. And your friends should be the same way because most people can't live life like that. And I'm glad I can't because, see, I got to meet all you all. I got to have you all watching me here and being my friend. And I get to see the hope come in people's eyes when they do get recovery. Man, them eyes brighten up and there big gleams in their eyes. And totally different people than they was 5 minutes ago. Smiling. It's amazing feeling, people. That's why I don't stick just with recovery. I like to help people. I like to see people be happy. Because if they're happy and I get to help in their happiness, then it makes me happy. Happy, joyous, and free. That's what we're looking for, right? Serenity, peace. When I get to the gates up there, to heaven, or the gates of hell, wherever, I hope they look down at my record and they see my heart and seeing where I tried to help as many people as I can. Maybe I'll get a second chance. I don't know where I'm going or when I'm not going. I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe he died for my sins on the cross. That's what the Bible says I need to believe, but I don't know for sure. Do you? I used to think that it was sin and not know for sure, or to question that. But see, I talked to a good friend of mine, his monk at the monastery, and I said, so-and-so, you think that I'm going to hell because I question God sometimes? And I really meant this. Because, I mean, I was really thinking about it. I mean, especially because it was early recovery. And in early recovery, you're really just trying to do the best you can, and you don't want to do no wrongs. But I was questioning this stuff. And he said, chuck, 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 chuck. Of course, I think the same way. You're not going to hell. That's like good deal. One day at a time. That's right, Kathy. Welcome, my friend. Welcome. Oh, it is a good feeling to help people out. You know, I might not ever make it to be a rich guy at work or whatever. Sometimes you got to give people a break. I mean, because some people are struggling and they're not even high. Life is just give them a bad hand. And sometimes they need a hand up, and I don't mind. Not that I got anything. I'm kind of struggling right now myself. Don't freak out on that because I'm not struggling over getting high. I'm still happy. Everybody runs into hard times. I'm getting in between seasons and stuff, but you know what? I still help somebody. Money is fake anyways. It's not real. I mean, you got to have it, whatever, because the world says you got to have it, but money's a lie anyways. Really, it is. Money don't buy you happiness. If it did, Robin Williams wouldn't have killed himself. I can tell you that right now. Funniest guy I ever seen on TV kills himself because he was depressed. And all kinds of money. So that tells me right there, money don't buy nothing. All that's got to be put into life by you. See, your happiness depends on you. So if you're out there strung out, trying to get over this problem we got up here, that peculiar mental twist that we have, that we think peculiarly different than others, we really do. And remember, you got to take that first step, see? And if you want to take that first step, I'll be glad to help you. You can reach out to me, 506, give you my address, 502, I don't even remember my phone number, people. I told you my forgetter was broke. 502-286-0005. 502-286-0005. Let me make sure. Yeah, 502-286-0005. I will be glad to reach out to somebody in recovery, find you a bed, get you in there, get you help. That's what it took for me, people. I was a 5 gram a day user. I couldn't do it on my own. Once again, I could not do it on my own. I could not do it on my own. I needed help, and I was scared to death to ask for help. So, good Lord above, my higher power, woo woo, Jesus Christ. Don't have to believe me if you don't want to. I'm just saying, for me, I'm good. You go any way you want to go. Don't have to be Jesus, whatever. All kinds of atheists get clean and sober. But either way, I didn't want to ask for help. My higher power found a way for me to get there through the honorable system. Honorable judge up here at the courthouse said, boom, sit your butt down, boy, and we're going to teach you a lesson. Well, luckily I was smart enough to kind of listen because I couldn't walk down probation because every time I'd go to the probation office I was high because I was going to quit 7 days before, but I could not quit. I could not quit. And when people tell me, I'm going to quit, I'm going to quit, I tell them, yeah, just like I quit. Yeah. until somebody set me down, made me quit, and that's when I quit. So that's the deal, people. That's the deal, Pickle. Don't forget, September 11th this weekend, New Haven, Iron Horse Festival, yard sale. Please come, buy some stuff. All the proceeds go to recovery. Can't wait to be helping people out. Can't wait to see some smiles. It's going to be awesome, people. It's going to be awesome. Woo woo. But anyways, October 2nd, Pathway to Hope. Bardstown, Kentucky Farmers Market starts at 3 o'clock. October the 2nd, Pathway to Hope. October 2nd, Pathway to Hope. Bardstown, Kentucky Farmers Market starts at 3 p.m. Come hang out. Check us out. Break the stigma. Listen to some speakers. Rise up. When was it? October the 2nd. That's right. October the 2nd. October the 15th, Sobertober. And from here on out, let's see, 6:59. I've done talk way too long. Did not do no commercial. Did not do nothing. United for Recovery. POW. Chuck Brothers Covered Loud and Proud. Whoa, whoa. Anyways. Don't forget about the people we lost.
Never judge a man until you take a step into his shoes. First you gotta understand the sand that
Dear
he's
Heavenly
walking
Father, I
through.
pray to
Silence
you
by
in the name of your
default,
Son,
but it's
Jesus
never
Christ. I
been
pray
his
that
fault.
you reach out
Following
and
the
touch
cold,
our
hanging
soul,
around
our
nothing
heart,
but
our
adults.
love,
Cause he
our
was treading
land,
water in the
and all
pool
the
of good
people of this
intentions.
planet. Help
Always
us
would envision the
heal our
mission, but no
souls,
one
heal our
listened.
heal our
Wishing to be
brains.
noticed,
Help us
hoping they
get
would
through
see
this
him glisten.
pandemic.
Beating
Help
pots
us
and
get through
pans
the
with his hands in the
the
kitchen. They bashing on his passion
COVID
cause he made his own
19,
decisions.
COVID-19,
Stitching
Lord,
the
please,
incisions
Lord,
and
I pray
bravado
you
those
through this
opinions. In
pandemic.
addition,
Help
started
us. It's only
drinking,
through
never
you
mixing
can we
with
find the
some
way
thinking.
out.
Sinking
And the
into
way out is
loneliness
through
and
you.
living for the weekend.
Pray in
Waking
the
up
name of your
confused
Son,
and popping
Jesus
pills
Christ.
for his amusement.
Amen. Woo, woo,
Loving
Chuck
his
Brothers
guitar,
Recovery,
but
loud
taking
and
drugs and had to
proud.
lose it. He wants to hit the road but doesn't own a car to cruise it. Now he's all alone with